Hi there. This is Dr. John Whitcomb talking about red meat and processed meat causes diabetes. It's a hard thing to consider, but let me just give you a sense of where that data comes from. First of all, we've known since way back in the 70s that Japanese immigrants to Hawaii had a rate of diabetes the same as other Hawaiians, but it increased 160% over the 1970s. Same trend were observed in Pima Indians and Canadian indigenous people as they developed more red meat consumption. So the Women's Health Study that came out in 2004 published the following study. 39,876 female healthcare professionals filled out 131 questionnaire about food consumption, and it was validated by taking small samples and doing much more detailed studies and then projecting that, but it was well validated. And red meat was the sum of hamburger, beef, lamb, or main dish, and pork, or whatever. And what they found was if they categorized it by 9 different responses, once a week, twice, 2 to 4 times a week, greater than 5 times a week, red meat, processed meat, and then went for 8.5 years, through 326,000 years of observation. They found that across the spectrum of consumption, risk for diabetes with red meat was 29% higher, and processed meat was 43% higher risk of diabetes. That's pretty awful. Processed meat stands out particularly. And I think my hunch is what happens is we're eating meat that's been changed. It's been changed because it's filled with omega-6 fats. It used to have omega-3 fats prior to 70 years ago, and we don't have a study comparing those. But our current meat raised in feedlots with nice marbling in it, full of saturated fat, that acts like lipopolysaccharides that are known inflammatory events. We're now eating those foods, and we need to discuss this more. Those foods aren't good for us. Processed meat, red meat, causes trouble. What will work for me? I'm trying to avoid them. I'm trying to eat more and more and more vegetables. And I think we'll get into more specific details later because I'm fascinated with this topic. This is Dr. John Whitcomb for News and Nutrition. Red meat, processed meat, causes diabetes. Darn it.